Call it pan or pain, ekmek or brot. Every culture has its bread. It started with wheat in the Middle East about 10,000 years ago, when someone left their porridge by the fire and it dried into a thick cracker. By 5000 BC, the Egyptians had discovered how to make that cracker rise. Bread became the coin of the realm and was payment for those who worked on the pyramids. The ancient Greeks developed 70 kinds of bread and were the first to go on record as having a preference for the sweet taste of white bread. That preference continues today in the U.S., one of the biggest bread-eating nations in the world. The average American eats 53 pounds every year, mostly white bread, mostly this one.
Ooh, that's smart. Wonder-enriched bread. One squeeze tells you why people call us the fresh guy. Oh!
Wonder Bread is the biggest selling bread in America, produced by the biggest bakery in the nation, Interstate Bakeries Corporation, or IBC. It's manufactured in over 25 regional IBC facilities and shipped to over 155,000 markets.
353 million loaves translate to about 3.5 billion sandwiches.
At one of their largest and most modern bakeries in Lexana, Kansas, IBC employs the latest in manufacturing technology on a massive scale.
3 tall bins you see right behind me are filled with white flour that we use for making Wonder Bread. They hold about 150,000 pounds each. And we go through roughly about 840,000 pounds in a week.
The creation of a loaf of Wonder Bread is a symphony of speed and efficiency. From start to finish, it takes just 6.5 hours. First, sugar, yeast, and flour are mixed with water into a 1,000-pound ball called a sponge and left to rise. In 3 hours, the yeast makes the dough double in size. Next, the sponge is dropped into a 1-ton mixer. More flour, yeast, sugar, and water are piped in from the silos. 5% of the mixture is liquid sugar, which gives Wonder Bread its popular, slightly sweet taste. Additional ingredients like dough conditioners, preservative enzymes, and mold inhibitors are added by hand. But it's the enriched flour of Wonder Bread that has been its calling card. In 1941, the U.S. government asked food manufacturers to voluntarily add 8B vitamins to their products to prevent diseases caused by malnutrition. Wonder Bread agreed.
It gave the nutrition that they needed to virtually eliminate those diseases. And because of it, it evolved to a campaign that was Build Strong Bodies.
The enriched ingredients emerge after 12.5 minutes in the mixer as over 2,000 pounds of Wonder Dough. For the next 3.5 hours, the dough will be constantly on the move, virtually untouched by human hands. The half-filled bread pans enter a warm, humid vault, where they circulate slowly for the next hour. This is called the proofing stage, because as the dough rises, it is proof that the yeast is active in doing its job. Inside, feed on the dough sugars and metabolize. The byproducts of this interaction are carbon dioxide and alcohol. As the carbon dioxide expands, it becomes trapped by the dough, causing it to rise. The rising continues until the sugars are consumed, or until the yeast is killed by the heat of the oven. Much of the alcohol is devoured by bacteria in the dough, contributing to the signature taste of the bread. The rest will be burned off in the oven.
Right here you're looking at our oven that we bake the product in. It's approximately 175 feet long, has 8 zones in it. We bake for an average of about 18 and a half minutes. Here's our bread being depanned. There's these suction cups with about 20 pounds of vacuum. They'll lift it out of that pan, set it on the belt, and it travels up into our cooler.
At this stage, the interior of the loaf is over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It will need to be cooled to 100 degrees before it can be sliced and wrapped. Wrapping it too soon would cause condensation in the package, ruin the crust, and promote mold growth.
It's been 6.5 hours since we started making this bread that's right behind me here. It's in the final process of wrapping. It gets sliced and then packaged, put on a rack, sent to our shipping department.
In 1930, Wonder Bread was one of the first brands to slice its loaves. Initially, the public was skeptical, fearing that sliced bread would go stale too quickly. But it gradually caught on. Today, it's a sign of high praise to be the best things in sliced bread. Wonder Bread's name was invented in 1921 when a baking company executive went to a hot air balloon exhibition.
And he looked up and he saw, with a sense of wonder, all of these balloons. And it occurred to him, what a great name for a product. And that's how Wonder Bread got its name. It's also why the red, yellow, and blue balloons are still an icon on the label.
Wonder Bread is baked 5 days a week and delivered the day after it's baked. The baking days are indicated by the color of the packing tiles: blue, green, red, white, or yellow. White bread continues to be the biggest selling bread in America, and Wonder Bread is the leader of that pack.